All right. So hope you guys can hear me. I'm using a different mic. I need to confirm the audio. Are you guys hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So that is for lock. Remember that we are looking at two of them, the lock and the eye lock. So this is how you can use the lock method to select your data based on the label. So the label is the header. So the criteria we use to select the entire column value is based on the label, the header. So let's quickly look at iLock. Let's quickly look at iLock. iLock. So by definition, the iLock is an integer base. The iLock is an integer base. So what do we mean by integer? That is number, an integer based approach. Let me see if I can capture it here very well for. So an integer based approach, an integer based approach, unlike the lock which uses the label. So this one we have to use number, an integer based approach that also allows us to select data rows and columns, an integer base. So let's quickly look at the example of iLog. Now, from this data set now, if I want to select, let's say, uh, from column a name to sign up, I want to capture, or let's say name and age. Now, if you remember when we were learning basic Python, I made mention of indexing, where I said elements in an array has numerical representation. The first one is always at index 0, which means that if I want to call out name, I'm going to use 0. If I want to call out age, I'm going to use 1. So if I want to call out name using iLog concept, not log, because you are not selecting, your focus is not on the label now. Your focus is on the number that is representing the position of that particular header. So the syntax is going to simply be, you call the name of the data, which is custom as well, the name of the data, which is custom, then concatenate the iLog, the square bracket, remember the constant, column, and the comma. Then after this, you specify the index number. So if I'm taking 0 here, you see that what it automatically calls out what the name. So if I want to see it just like I did the other time, I can just add concatenate reset underscore index underscore index. If I run it, so you can see that we have been able to call out the values under name using what the index or the integer method. Is that clear? Please, can I get a response? I believe it's clear. So I usually prefer this one. I hope it's clear, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now, let's assume that we call slicing, which I also mentioned then when I was treating that topic in the slicing is where you want to call more than one. So the equivalent slicing here is where we use double square brackets, and then we now call all the header as string and separated them with comma. So how do we call, for example, now the task is that we have to call from name to income as a different data set. Let's say we want to create some data set. and they will now call from some maybe from discount to education level as another data set. So how do I at the same time pull out all this without me using the individual number like I just did now? So that will bring us to what? Slicing. So let me name it slicing. Slicing what? Data features or headings. Data features or headings. So
Hello,
that is
sir.
what
Hello, sir.
with you.
My did not my output and yours seem not to be okay. Yours started from zero. I don't know why my started from that area is not in my own. Mine started from one. Okay, okay. I think it's there, but it's the way it came out. It's okay. All right, sir.
All
Continue,
right.
sir.
Okay. So now so like I was saying, we want to slice. In other words, we want to call more than one feature at once. So the logic is going to still be what? And in this case, we are calling it and we are storing it in a different data. In other words, we want to create a sub data. So let's say custom underscore sub two. I don't think we had. I think what we have there was sub two custom. Then equals to, and then we call the name of the data, which is custom. Then concatenate it with the same ilog, then your square bracket, constant column, constant word, comma. Now, this is how you are going to specify the range of the column you want to probably what select with the ilog method. So you will say, okay, from 0 to let's say 4, or let me take 3. Because remember when we're learning slicing, we learned that the last one will not show. So which means that will give us 1 to 2. The very last one, you won't get it. So if I want to get 3 of them, then I will what? Put what? 4. So if I run it, accepted, to see the result, I have to call the data object, which is what? Custom sub 2. So once I run it, you see what happens. So I'm able to what? To slice across 3, 0, 1, 2. 3 did not come. 0, 1, 2. 3 did not come. If I want to capture the column 4, then I have to put what? 4 here. So you can see the way it's done. Very simple with the ilog. So me, I prefer this ilog because the issue of wrong spelling or whether I'm not following the case is not there. Number does not have capital letter number and what capital letter or small letter. So is that clear? Please.
Yes.
Okay, so that is for the both of them. So quickly, we are looking at another topic now, but now this one is going to sound more uh, related to the topic, filtering. Because like I told us the other time, there is a thin line separating selection and data filtering. But here we are going to be performing filtering properly. So let me track that. I just want us to understand those data selection techniques. So you just have to know that you can be given data tomorrow where they will ask you to call out a column from that data or call out 2 columns from that data and store them in different data objects. So with what we have learned so far, that settles that. So let's quickly look at data filtering properly. Data filtering properly. So what is data filtering? So data filtering is another powerful feature of pandas. It's another powerful feature in pandas. In pandas, that so we need to understand that we have a lot of fitting techniques in pandas that we can exploit. Now, I'll start by highlighting the reason why you need to learn this. Despite we have learned various selection techniques. For example, you see everything you are selecting is column, column, column. What about if I am asked to select this from this sub data that we created now? We want to select only record equals to what? Maybe area. So only area record we want to see. So I think we have another better data set up here. Let's see if I can quickly call it. We have, okay, so I have data one, and that means I have data one already. I hope I've not overwritten it. Well, let me see. If I call it, it shows fine. If it doesn't, I'll continue. So data one. Oh, okay. Thank God. We still have it. So I'm going to use this data set so that we can have more meaningful outcome or output. So let's say from this whole data set, we want to select only record from Yangon City. This is a sales inventory where records were collected across 3 different countries. Yangon is one of them, Napitor is another one, and we have Mandalay somewhere. So the organization wants you as a data analyst to filter out. They want to know, probably they want to focus on them because that is one of the essence of data filtering. Because it's like you have so many different unique variables, and that could be distracting you from looking into the real objects. So as a way of helping yourself, you filter it out. So that is the kind of question iLok cannot do. That is the kind of question all those logic cannot do. So you have to bring in filtering properly. So the question here is from the sales inventory, select only records from Yangon City. That is the task. That is the task. So how do we communicate this? How do we draw this insight? So I want to pay attention because part of it is a bit logical, but we'll get it. All right. So now the first thing is for me to create a data object that is going to hold that filtering values for Yangon. So I will use a more descriptive word, which is always good for you as a professional. Now the question is, you have to view only Yangon. So is it not better you say Yangon? Is it not better you say Yangon equals to, or you say Yangon underscore a record? Yangon underscore records equals to. So that once you see that name, you know, oh, this is what is coding. Then the name of the data set where that Yangon is, which is what? Data one. Make sure you take note of the center. Then concatenate it with the header, with the header holding the Yangon in the data set, which is city. So you call city just the way it's written. So what we are communicating is that from data one, there is a header called what? City, under which the criteria for this filtering is. So that is the logic. Then you say city equals to from programming, basic programming. I taught us that when you use single equal sign, that is what? Assignment. When you use two, that is equality. Okay, so you are saying that what? From data under city, if a record is equals to Yangon, you type it just the capital letter the way it is in the data set. Yangon. If a record is equals to Yangon, they are the ones you want to select. They are the one you want to select. So if I run this particular code now, accepted. So as you can see here, let me remove this because that is not what we are saying right now. So we have those set of records selected. Right now, they are stored here. So how do I view them? This is where the logic is. Normally, if you want to view it, you will just call this. But this time around, you are not going to call this, because what you actually did is that you sent this particular function to go into the data and assemble all the Yargon record in a segment, but they are still in the data. So for you to pull them out, you have to select that segment. And how do you select that segment? You will call the original name of the data 1, and then use the selection square bracket, and then you pass in your object name, which is this. So if I run it now, what I get now is just what? Only Yargon. You can see I have just Yargon's record all through. And then if I want to know how many of them, let's say I'm asked to give the statistics, I will say what? There are what? 340 of them. So you cannot do for the Napitor. You cannot do for Mandalay. So at the end of the day, you collect your observation, you present it. That is, you identify which of the city is doing better, followed by which city, which one is underperforming. So all this, we have a way of guiding them in making effective decisions. Please, can I get a response? Is it good? Hope you understand the logic.
Yes.
Okay. The only place that is a little bit complicated is this, the way we call it. You know, all this while we just call this, but now, no. We are acknowledging that what this line of code did is to, if, for example, now you have Yargon before, followed by Napitor, followed by Mandalay, what that line did is to pick them from wherever they are and put them in one segment. Now, that is why we are saying that, okay, from that data set where you must have segmented this particular set of record, now call out that section. That is why we have to call that data set and then use the square bracket to pull them out.
No, you don't need the string.
No, you don't need to, because this is already a keyword. This is a variable now. This is a variable. It's a keyword. You don't need to quote it. Are you following?
Okay. Yeah.
It's a variable.
Hello,
It's a
sir.
variable. Yes?
Hello, sir. So this
I'm with
Yargon
you.
now is in small letter. Will it work like that?
Yes, this is my data object name. I'm the one that created it. The one that must follow the way it is in the data is this one. Because when you check it now, this one can be any name, you understand? But this one must be the exact value in the data. I hope that is clear.
So, so that means if you want to call out, hello, sir.
I'm with you, sir. Go ahead.
So, if I want to call out another
city, another city,
data, another city. So city will be is a constant in.
Is a constant.
So city is a constant. The only thing that will keep changing is the name of the city.
Perfect. So I just want to do that now. So if I take this now, let me just take this line, Control C, and bring it here. And now I want to change here to, let's say, Napitor. That name is German name. I don't want to spell it in full. Now, then I'll go to the data set. This is what you do. To avoid error, what you do is just call that data set back. I think we have it. Now, this is where I've already filtered it. So let me come here and say data 1. Data 1. I just want to get that Napitor spelling. So you copy it out. Don't right click. See, when you right click and select copy, it's not the same thing. So always use the shortcut. I copy the whole line. When you copy, just use Control C. Now let me come back to where I want to modify it. So I will change it to that, and then call the data set, then pull out what?
Okay, just single out the Napitor.
Yes. So pull out this. And then if you run it, let's check now. You can see that what? Only Napitor that we have now. Why here? Now let's look at the statistics. How many of them do we have? 328 as against. Now let's check when we did for. So this will inform you and the company that you have more of Yargon record than what this. and then you do for the other unique variable, which is Mandalay. Then you now write your observation that after you have performed your exploratory or filtering analysis, or your analysis, you came to realize or observe that Yagon has the highest, followed by this and followed by that. So these are actually the information, the insights the company needs.
Okay. So my question now is this. So if I want to get, can I filter based on, for instance, now we have filtered based on city.
Yeah.
Can we filter based on
Number.
let's say product line?
Okay. Here, right? Perfect. So it will not be now. If you want to use product line, it means you have to go and modify this header. Remember, you have to go and rename it to add underscore, because looking at it now, there is what? Space. So you have to go and re-engineer that particular header. Go and add underscore, and then in the place of city, it will now be what? Product line. In the place of equals to Napitor will now be the selection of the particular product you want to fetch out. I hope that is clear.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I want to take one more. So this is data filtering by threshold. Is a different filtering entirely. You see, the other one we filter based on string. The criteria for our filtering was text. Now we want to filter by threshold. It means that we want to filter by using number. For example, now, if the company wants us to, let me go to the gross income. They want us to see only value greater than, gross income greater than, let's say what, 36. They are the only value they want to see. So this is threshold, which is always also very much applicable out there. So what we are going to do, the same logic. So I say, okay, I want to view gross greater than 30, for example, equals to. So the name of your data set, which is data one, follow, concatenate it with, the name of the data set, that is from here, you are selecting from the data set, we are focusing on the header that has the value we want to filter, which is gross income. So we select that header. So let me take it from here. So Control C, then go back to where I'm writing. So I'm selecting this header. Now that header, I am not going to quote it. You are passing it direct inside. So the only thing you will do is that the data set itself, look at it, is mentioned outside, which means that from the entire data set. Now, how do we now relate the data set with this particular header inside the square bracket? So we call the data set again, data one dot. You see the logic now. You call that data set before the square bracket, and then you acknowledge it again inside the square bracket, because we want to directly attach it to the header that contains the value for the filtering. So after this, you will now do greater than symbol like this. Greater than, remember we said what? 30. So if I run it, I get the result stored in what? This object. So for me to see it, I will call the original data set name, which is the data one, then square bracket, then call the what? Your object name, which is this. So if I run it, let's see what we have here. The what? Boolean array expected what? Conditional, not object. Okay, so let's see how where is the Boolean array here. Okay, so because it's threshold, let's call it direct and see what we are going to get. This, okay. So now let me just call the data set itself. So perfect. So you see, you don't have to use that method that I used when I was calling. You have to call it direct. Now, after you have, because this is filtering by threshold. Now, after you have called it direct, you now go to gross income and check whether the values you have there matches the criteria you defined. So let's check here now. You can see all the values we have here. They are greater than what? 30. I hope that is clear.
Yes.
Okay. So an apology. I think we have to stop here. I made a very big mistake yesterday. I did not even remember that I don't have enough fuel on my system. So all this one I'm using my laptop. So please, I'm going to stop here, please. That's why you see that I'm a bit rushing to see how I can cover. Please, an apology for that. Please. And I cannot go out this early morning before we start the training. That is the issue. So please, but I believe that we have really covered much. So just get different data sets as your assignment. Perform different analysis with what we have done so far. Use comment to explain what you are doing per time so that in the next class you present it. Please, I want us to start bringing in how to write reports. How to write reports. So I want to add that in the next class where you are going to present the assignment, just like I did here now, you can see that when we did this analysis, we were able to find out the number of record that matches that criteria to be 340. And when we ran this one, we got another value which wasn't up to that one. So in your report, either you are using PowerPoint or you are using Word, you write observation. So you pick a header that have like 2 or 3 unique, perform individual analysis for each of them, and then collate your observation. What is the performance across those variables? Put it in writing, in words. That is observation. That is actually what the company need to make those decisions, not your working. What we have on the screen will not be displayed to them. It's just our technical skill, our way of getting the final variable or the final insight that we will now present. So this is not the working document. The working document is the one that after all your analysis, you sit down, study the outcome of each of them, you are putting them in writing. That is what we call the reporting. It's part of this program. It's not just running this code and then you are getting the answer. How can a non-technical person make decision from this work? Remember what I told us from the beginning. Your report must be not technical format. Your report should not be technical. Okay, because if you present this one now, this is technical, so somebody is not going to understand what you are saying. So you put it in words. Like each time you run analysis, study the outcome. What did you observe? You must observe something. Put it in word. The next analysis, what do you observe? You put it down. The next analysis, what do you observe? You put it down. Now, at the end of the day, the addition of all those observations is what forms what we call executive report that will be presented to the stakeholders to influence their smart or to influence their decision making. Now, in the course of writing that report, there could also be recommendation. Recommendation is where you notice one particular variable is underperforming. So you as an expert, you are like giving them counsel that, you know what, this should be done so that this one can improve. So it is also expected from us, but it is not constant that every analysis must have recommendation. It is only when you analyze 3, 4, 5 variables and you see that the dispersion of one is far from others, then it calls for alarm. You need to find out why is this one different from others. Then you open their eyes that if they have to deploy their marketing team, they should do. So these are what our executive report should constitute. More of observation, view of what recommendation. But that depends on the status of the data. Any question?
No.
All right, so I'll be expecting that. Like I said, you are getting a different data set. Or if you are using the same one, if you couldn't get another, you can go to Kaggle to get another one, fine. But any data set you are analyzing with what we have learned so far, please, there should be a separate cell or PowerPoint or Word where you are documenting all the observations that will form that report. So we'll present it in our next meeting. All right, so have a lovely weekend. Thank you.
So you try and send the video.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. What you asked us to do now, can you sort of like help me drop it and in a
in
WhatsApp
Word,
group?
right?
Yes,
I will.
yes,
I,
yes.
I, will- I will
Please,
do that.
please.
I will do that.
So
So
that
all
I
my
can
devices
remember.
are down now. Once I
Okay.
boost them
Okay.
now, you will get
So
it.
that
If you don't get it, please
when I
remind
read,
me.
each time I go there, I remember I have something to do there.
All
Please.
right. All right.
All
All right.
right.
So
Thank
just
you.
before we go, please I need a review from my students across some of my social media platforms. So you can just give me an audio review. How can you rate our classes? How can you recommend this platform for others? Please just an audio review.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right. So you can okay. You want to do it now, right, Ma?
So
Are you giving
okay,
your
no, it's not
review?
what
Okay.
it's not
Okay.
what I will do now. Let me understand it. You try and send the video. So this I missed some parts in this today's work.
Yes, I will. I will. I will. I will. Okay, so just take your time to record just a voice note. Just say something about Digital Z Hub, how our classes are rated. Please, short one. You may not even up to 1 minute. Please, thank you. All right.
Welcome. Bye bye.
All right. Bye for now.